What if the final puzzle piece become the biggest exchange and take over crypto was to just let FTX go? Binance controls a massive amount of the crypto industry, now even crazier. I think it's way bigger than we think. It's very likely that some of these companies in crypto that are controlling the market are controlled by big forces out there. If I can see that crypto is the next big thing, they know. Having a player that big is dangerous for the community. The point of crypto is to be decentralized. And when you get everyone to use it, now you regulate Binance. Now you don't have to regulate anything else because you already regulate the monopoly. So done, easy job.
So what do they say? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So there's that danger.
If you look into crypto from another perspective, you see this new industry and there's so much opportunity in there. Many of the big projects in crypto, with many of them launched in the middle of bear markets, because guess what? They don't care. They just want to get their product out. 4 years ago, I was in a grocery store scanning milk packages in the cashier, and today I have this big office with more than 100 employees globally and doing very cool things, and I'm very proud of myself. One of my main missions is to really inspire people, because I feel like if I could do it, I really think anyone can do it. I think it's important that people start waking up from that, because if everyone was waking up to this, then I think that we would have less negative things happening in the world. I think wars would end. I think banks would cease to exist. I think maybe governments would cease to exist. We could live in harmony. You have to believe that what I just said will work, and that you believe in yourself, you believe in your future, and then the mountains are gonna start moving for you.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go? This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is... This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Carl Runefelt, aka The Moon, a former supermarket cashier turned YouTube influencer, cryptocurrency analyst, investor, and entrepreneur. You are the founder and host of The Moon, your YouTube channel with over 500,000 subscribers and almost 100 million views. As one of the leading advocates of Bitcoin, you've been featured in Forbes 30 Under 30, Fox News, and Business Insider. You're also one of the most influential figures on crypto Twitter with over 1.2 million followers, where you post the latest Bitcoin updates and your thoughts on the market. You've invested in over 400 startups, and your latest venture, the blockchain game Medieval Empires, is set to launch soon. You believe that crypto gaming is the future with unimaginable potential. Carl, welcome back to London Real.
Thank you so much for being here. That's a very nice intro. And I will tell you this right now, Brian. My favorite interview I've ever done so far is the last interview you and I did. That was the best one I've done so far.
Oh, man, that was incredible, man. We were vibing there. And I think people saw a whole new, side of Carl as you were talking about, this way of tapping into the energy that's out there, and this concept of kind of visualizing your future and then becoming your future. And, when I watch you, Carl, and I watch you on Instagram, on Twitter, and a lot of people do, you've manifested this life you built. And I just want to say to people, I was there in Dubai. I was at Carl's offices. I was at the conferences with him. And I could see everything you built, including Medieval Empires, was kicking off left and right. And I was just thinking, man, this kid 4 years ago was in the supermarket, and now you've manifested this stuff with your mind and a lot of great work and a lot of great energy. And so it was very real to me. And you were a great host to me there. And the crypto community that you hang with there are like some super positive energy folks, man. So yeah, I had an amazing time out there. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you for the office party we had here was really cool. You came, and I mean, I guess you saw yourself, like we had so many incredibly interesting people. We had some of the most influential influencers in the Middle East region. We had some of the very influential people from the Abu Dhabi and Dubai government. We had just wealthy individuals in general, because there are plenty of them here in Dubai. So that's the cool thing about Dubai. It's so easy to connect interesting people together. I say it's easy, but maybe it's not easy. But for me, it has been easy because I built my network. But it's for sure easier here than in Sweden, where I grew up. And I'm so happy to be based here. And yeah, it was great hosting you, man. And when I come to London, we should hang out.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. And yeah, just to finish on Dubai, like I just felt the vibe there. And there's just such a positive energy. Everyone's focused on the future. Everyone's there to build. There's no like dead weight in Dubai. I don't see a bunch of people just phoning in their day there. You know, I don't see a bunch of people just like zombies going to work. Like everybody in Dubai is like, we're here to build the future. And it's a great energy to be around, especially if you're already kind of on the wavelength. You're like, there's all my friends. And so it's like, it's a great place to be, man. So yeah, look, I can't wait to jump in and talk to you today. Look, there's so much happening, and we should just dive in to what's happening, because you've been in this market for a while, Carl. You've seen the ups and downs of crypto, but I'm curious, have you ever seen a period like the last 30 days? I guess specifically, we'll talk about the elephant in the room, which is probably FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, the fallout, the stories. What's your take on it from Carl the Moon's perspective?
The whole FTX disaster or scandal is it is a massive, massive thing. Like, we cannot take it too lightly. It is definitely going to hurt the reputation of crypto in the coming years. It is already it already damaged the reputation of crypto. It is definitely comparable with the Mt. Gox scandal that happened many, many years ago. That was one of the big like first setbacks for crypto. I was not even in crypto back then, by the way. Mt. Gox was the biggest exchange in crypto, and we're talking, I think we're talking 2013, 14 here. And when Mt. Gox collapsed, Mt. Gox actually controlled like 80% of the exchange market, and like many of the Bitcoin transactions were actually done with Mt. Gox. So that was a disaster. And after Mt. Gox collapsed, the Bitcoin price corrected like, I think 80% or something. It was a incredibly severe bear market for a couple of years or 3 years there. So what happened to FTX is definitely comparable. The market is bigger today, and FTX didn't control 80% of the market, but it is, or was, the second biggest crypto exchange, and has built up a lot of reputation as a big exchange. And if you asked me 3 months ago if I think FTX is going to collapse, I would have said, no way, it's not going to happen. It's the second biggest exchange. Like, no way that's going to happen. Just like that's what I would say about Binance, and I would say that about Coinbase. But what happened with FTX clearly showed me that we cannot take things for granted, and we cannot assume that a big player is solid simply because it's big and has a big reputation. FTX has the FTX Arena in, if it's Miami, I believe. They have had the FTX logo on the Mercedes Formula One car. Here in the Middle East, Gumball, you had FTX logos on every single car here on the supercars. And, you know, FTX had built such a strong brand, almost equal to the one of Binance, to be honest. Like, FTX is just, or was just as publicly respected in a way as Binance. And I would be able to tell, because I've been in the space, I think 5 years now, if you count the first year when I was still in the grocery store. And I've seen FTX and Binance grow along each other, and I'm very surprised. I'm very, very surprised. And it will be very easy for people coming outside of crypto and saying that, oh, this should have been obvious, and oh, you're all a bunch of scammers in crypto. But like, it was not obvious. It was very few people who were in the know of FTX. And it came as a shock and surprise to the vast majority in crypto. But it is definitely a massive setback, and I think it's going to take a couple of years for crypto to recover from their reputational damage, unfortunately. And I didn't lose money specifically in FTX, maybe a little bit, but like we're talking a very small amount of like old tokens that I just didn't claim for a while. Very, very minor stuff. I didn't hold any big holdings there, but I have lost a lot of money on other exchanges and protocols where I took risk and I lost money. So I know how it feels to lose money, other than just losing the value of the Bitcoin dropping, but actually like literally losing your hard assets. That it really sucks, and it's really it feels really bad. And I think we're all in the same spot here. Many people lost money. I mean, BlockFi literally 2 days ago came out and said they're also bankrupt now. So that's all the money gone. And we also already had to deal with Luna, Celsius. Yeah, right now the crypto space has definitely seen better days, and it's very sad, but it is also a natural part of a growing industry. There will be ups, there will be downs, there will be players that mismanage users' funds, and there will be scammers. There will be all of these things, and the same was with the internet.com era. I mean, everyone looks back now and thinks that it was very obvious that you had to invest in Google and Amazon. But those people that invested in Google and Amazon, they also invested in a bunch of businesses that went to zero, probably because the founders ran away with the money, or because the business model was stupid, or, all the reasons why crypto companies are going down right now. But there are many companies in crypto that are going to go on and become the multi-billion-dollar companies in the future. And it's just our job to try to figure out which ones. And obviously, I'm also building companies, and I'm not going to stop building just because we have a bear market. I'm here building every single day, and I have many employees supporting my vision. And of course, it's bear market. I'm going to cut down on certain spendings. I'm going to be more cautious. Of course, everyone is. But now is the time to build, and now is the time to separate yourself from the bad actors and the people that are just complete, cowboys in the Wild West.
This is a great opportunity. I always tell my students to like show the world that you're here on the front lines. I mean, I had Yatsuf Manimoka Brands here in the studio in London a couple weeks ago, and it was just important for me to show the world that we're not running and hiding. Like, we're here. We're in this business for the next 10 years. Like, we're massive fans of the blockchain industry, crypto, DeFi, all that stuff. So I agree. This is the time where you want to stand up and show the world you're building, you're still involved, you still care, while the fair weather friends run away. And again, the crypto is a small market, and everyone remembers, right? So they'll see who like stayed and built. And I know you're building over there. I was at Token 2049 in London when all that news hit. And I think the general feeling, Carl, it was just like, it felt a little embarrassing because we were right across from Canary Wharf, where all my clients used to be at Credit Suisse and Barclays and Citibank. The buildings are towering over us. And I know those guys are looking down thinking, look at you crypto goofballs. Like, you can't even handle an exchange. And I'm like, I want to say, no, there's so much more to this industry. Look at DeFi. DeFi is actually, it functioned correctly. You just had some cowboys that weren't doing good risk management, that nobody did due dil on, that, got over levered, just like long-term capital management did in 1998, not dissimilar from maybe mortgage crisis in '08. I mean, I've been in the industry for a while, but it still, like you said, was a setback, and it makes the industry look bad. And again, we had big investors in FTX, Sequoia, you had VCs that should know better. And now when we go and dissect it, I guess it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback, as they say, but there were a lot of red flags. But like you said, it was a huge branded everywhere. SBF was just a guy that you were like, throw money at him and don't question him.
I guess Sam gave all the bad people the blueprint. Just put your logo on like a bunch of cool stuff, and then people will respect you. And I fell for it as well. Like, if I see the FTX logo on the Formula One car or on the FTX arena, it somehow gives you the confidence, because why would Mercedes allow them to do that if they were like, BitConnect or some other like Ponzi scheme, right? Why would they allow that? And I guess at the end of the day, like, people just like money, If FTX comes and slams $100 million, like who's gonna say no? Like they will do some due diligence because, but they will only do so much because they don't want to come to the conclusion that we can't take the money. So they will only do so much, so they cover their own back. But in this case, it came back to bite everyone who endorsed FTX. And I want to actually say live to everyone that I'm very proud. I never mentioned FTX to any of my audience. I never promoted FTX, whether it's FTX US or any FTX, because I just never had a incredible feeling about them. I respected them like I respect other exchanges, but I just chose never to promote them, but maybe for other reasons than them being a scam. But I just didn't. If someone did promote them, I can't hold it against them because there is a fine line where maybe I also would have done it. But I actually didn't.
Yeah, we didn't either, actually. So we never talked about it, pushed it, didn't have him on the show either. But again, that's just kind of the history. Do you think, people are saying it was a scam and it was a fraud? What do you think happened there? I mean, obviously, it probably didn't start off to be that, but at some point where you can print your own FTT tokens, you've got your separate group, Alameda Research. How much of it was lax risk management of not knowing what's going on, and how much of it just became fraudulent when the markets went bear, or do we just not know yet?
You know what? I think there's a lot of information out there that suggests different things. And my very good friend Bitboy Crypto, he is one of the people who is really doing a lot of research on this. And I had him on my YouTube channel, actually. People can go and watch it on my YouTube channel. It's a collaboration, me and Bitboy Crypto. And in that video, which is live on my channel, he is talking about some very, very, backdoor stuff, like, some shady things in the background that has been going on starting from the very beginning of the inception of FTX. So Bitboy is of the perception that FTX was a scam from the very, very beginning, with very, very, shady people, basically starting the exchange for the reason of, doing bad things. Now, I wouldn't say that I am the guy who has all the information about this, and I don't think I want to like publicly come out and say things because I don't want to, I want to have the facts straight. But I'll be happy to connect you with Bitboy Crypto. I think you guys should make a collaboration as well here because he has some very interesting opinions about this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I do agree with him on many things so far. It really does seem like this was not a mistake. Like what happened with FTX was a deliberate event, and it also seems like FTX was one of the big reasons why Luna collapsed, why Celsius collapsed, and maybe other big disasters as well that happened or are yet to happen. So I think it's way bigger than we think, and that's also scary. And I really hope that this contagion doesn't continue further. Like, I don't want Binance to collapse. Like, if Binance collapses, then I'm telling you right now, it's like it's over for the next 5 years. We're done.
Yeah.
For the next 5 years. Obviously, you cannot kill Bitcoin, so it doesn't hurt Bitcoin, but the industry itself would be severely damaged by that. And another massive threat to crypto right now is US dollar Tether. If Tether were to collapse for some reason, whether it's a contagion from the FTX collapse or from the simple reason that it's not fully reserved, because there is so much information suggesting that Tether is not 100% backed up by actual assets, which means that it's just a fractional reserve. If it collapses, then that pulls the rug on the whole crypto industry, and that's the only scenario which would let me entertain Bitcoin going down to something like 5K or 3K. I really don't think this is going to happen, but you never know. And unfortunately, this industry is so small today that there are certain things, like fundamental things that could happen that could destroy the price short term, that we don't have any, we cannot do anything about it. It's just what it is. Like it's up to the universe, or I don't know, the God, or whoever, we just have to hope that we survive this bear market now.
Yeah, those are two great things to look out for. Obviously, Binance now with a ton of market share, and I do want to come and ask you about CZ later. Tether, the highest volume U.S. coin, but also never completely proven on their fractional reserves. But it's used so much in the industry that if either one of those collapsed, I agree, crypto would be dead for, well, maybe not 5 years, but a good 3 years plus. So yeah, with Sam, first of all, BitBoy was here on my show about 4 weeks before I came to Dubai, and then he was on stage at Future Blockchain Summit. And I'm telling you, Carl, but you know what Ben's like. He was going off on stage on various people, and like Gensler. We talked about Do Kwon, and then he did a whole tirade on Bankman-Fried. Literally, the FTX booth was like earshot away, and it hadn't happened yet. And like, what I always do what I do on London Real. Again, we've been proponents for free speech since the beginning. We had to fight for it in 2020 when YouTube was shutting us down. But I just sat there and I listened to him because I think you got to let the person speak. So he put it out there. It made a lot of people uncomfortable, but I'm glad people were listening, because then literally 2 weeks later, it's going off. And now, BitBoy's down there in the Bahamas and going hardcore, and we could talk about that too. But, it's been interesting to see what he's uncovered, and I know he saw a lot of things happening behind the scenes. I got to ask you a question. We're seeing all these weird things in the mainstream media, Carl. Like, Sam is still set to speak at a New York Times event featuring some of the biggest players in the world in government and corporations, and Wall Street Journal front page articles that seem to be saying really good things about him, and like in a weird way defending him and talking about how it's a shame that his philanthropy has gone down. Mm-hmm. And we've all in crypto been shocked that he seems to be getting support, maybe from politicians, from mainstream media. I don't know. Do you have a read on this? Did you notice that as well? And do you have any thoughts of why?
Well, I think if you just look at it from a big perspective, if you look into crypto from another perspective, you see this new industry, and then you see a small industry, and there's so much opportunity in there. That's why I'm building business in crypto, because the chance of success is just massive, because there's a new industry with, That said, if you look then at governments and like very wealthy individuals that have that control trillions of dollars, wouldn't it make sense that they also see this opportunity and that they go into crypto, maybe not publicly, but undercover, and they put someone in place like Sam or whoever else? I mean, CZ, like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that wouldn't it make sense that you then control these companies from like, you control the equity, you control the decisions, but you have someone in the front who makes the branding and the networking and publicly controls the company. So that would make sense in my mind, because if I had trillions, that's what I would do. And then of course it would be this easy to make these companies successful, because you already have the money, so you can immediately take over market share. And I have actually some inside information about FTX and their spendings on online ads, because I've been speaking to people that know some of their numbers, and they've been spending hundreds of millions of dollars in just online ads, like literally just like digital marketing online ads, on top of the 400 million they put in FTX Arena and all these things. Like, where does all this money come from? And what I think is that, let's say you have trillions of dollars or billions, whatever, and you're either a government or you just have a lot of like shady money, like black money that comes from really shady things, then the best way to launder this money or to put it in something would be in crypto, because no one would bat an eye. Everyone's like, it's just a crypto company. FTX, of course they make money. It's crypto. Like, it's derivatives trading. Of course they will make bank. Like, no one will question that. But they would question it if it's like maybe like a random new maybe car company or like a textile company, because it just maybe doesn't really make sense, because maybe like if a new car comes out with very like mediocre technology and then becomes like the biggest car, like that would maybe be more strange. But in crypto, it's just fine. Everyone thinks it's just crypto. So yeah, the question or the answer is that it's very likely that some of these companies in crypto that are controlling the market are controlled by big forces out there, whether it's the banks, mafia, like really like shady, strange money. It could also be like, the elites of the world. Like we could literally be talking about like the Bilderberg meeting people, the Skull and Bones, like these kind of people as well. Like who knows? Like they are smart individuals. Like if I can see that crypto is the next big thing, they know. Of course. I mean, maybe they created this whole crypto industry. Like who knows? So I think that it's very naive to think that all of these people like Sam and other CEOs of exchanges are just like random computer nerds who just randomly, raised a lot of money from nothing and just boom became the biggest exchange. Like it doesn't work like that. It's possible, but I just don't think it's very reasonable. And now I think with FTX, we seem to have the proof that at least FTX was a good example of that.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of weird ties with funds being given to the Democrat Party and then maybe some to the Republican Party, and then he's in Washington, D.C. all the time, and then this weird media coverage, which we would expect the mainstream media just to sell crypto down the river like it usually does, and now it's not.
Yeah.
And like you said, a lot of smart people out there, a lot of pools of money. I just had Andrew Bustamante on my show last week, and he was a CIA guy for 7 years, and he was just talking to me how they place assets here and there, and yeah, I'm starting to think about this more and more. Just to finish up with Sam, 3 potential scenarios. I want to get your thoughts on this, Carl. 1 is Sam goes to jail for 10 years. 2 is Sam does no time. 3 is Sam starts another $10 billion company and next year he's riding high. Which one do you think is possible? Because let's be honest, they're all possible.
They're all possible. That's true. I don't think he's gonna make another company because whoever controlled FTX, they will just use another puppet next time, right? Why use a burnt card? Like he's burnt already. That's at least how I would do if I was this Illuminati mafia person. The first option, him going to jail. I mean, I think that's probably the more likely scenario because, again, I don't think that Sam was the owner of this exchange. He was not the main controller, and the people that control FTX, like I don't think they actually care about Sam. Like they will just put him in jail and then be done with it. That's again what I maybe would have done if I was this crazy mafia people behind FTX. But somehow I feel like maybe the more likely scenario is that he gets away with it somehow because he's just too connected to these people. And like you said, the media coverage has been surprisingly kind to FTX and Sam, which is really, really surprising because, like you said, usually if something happens in crypto, even the smallest minor thing, the media just completely destroys crypto, whether it's crypto is destroying the environment or it's this or that. Like it's always so much stuff. So yeah, it's very, very, very weird, but honestly, I don't know. But I would love to see him in jail because that would make the most sense.
Yeah. Now, we saw BitBoy go down to the Bahamas and like basically, storm his building. First of all, what did you think of that? Did Ben go too far? Another thing I'm curious. The other thing I noticed was Ben said he was the first one to go down there and try to get an interview with him, which it did feel like that, which is, that's weird in itself. Of all the coverage, the size of this, he's one of the most Googled people in the last couple of weeks. And yet Ben, a week after this happened or 2 weeks after is the first one to go down there. So yeah, what did you think of that? Did he go too far? And yeah, your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't think it's strange that like normal people didn't go there, but I guess it is strange that we didn't have a lot of like news media going down there. Just like Ben. Yeah, like Ben was there doing some coverage and actually, trying to get an answer from Sam, and somehow it would seem like an opportunity for like CNN and the likes to go down there and take advantage of the situation. And to be fair, of course, that's what Ben is doing. He's taking advantage of a situation. It's a great PR move as well. I think it's genius of him to do it because everyone is now talking about Ben, which I give a huge shout out for him as well. Like he is very genius. This is very smart of him to do, and it for two reasons. First of all, he's actually doing a good job because he's demanding answers from Sam. I think it's a great thing, and he has the benefit of actually getting a lot of, attention and clout for it. And whatever he does with that, I hope he does the best with that. But I'm sure he's a great guy. Ben is a good friend of mine. Um, but yeah, where's CNN? It would have been amazing to come down there and even interview Ben down there. But it seems like media, yeah, just doesn't really care too much. So it's strange, but I don't know. I think Ben is doing a good job.
Yeah, I agree. Ben's got him in his sights, and he's just really on a warpath right now. He's back on the show in a couple weeks, so we're going to talk to him more about it then. Perfect. Ben's also going after Kevin O'Leary because of the FTX stuff. And again, when Ben goes after people, he goes after them with a vengeance. What do you think of that?
Actually, I didn't check yet what exactly he says about Kevin. I understand that he invested in FTX or something like this.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. I actually met Kevin myself in Abu Dhabi just like a few days ago, and but that was before BitBoy went really heavy on him, so I didn't have the chance to ask him about it. In fact, Kevin was giving me some compliments about my watch,
the new Jacob watch.
Exactly, yeah. So we were just focusing on watches because that's the only thing I know about him really. I don't know much about him, to be honest. I know he was in Shark Tank and stuff, but other than that, I don't really have any opinions about Kevin O'Leary. I guess I'll have to call Ben and see what he says.
Right. You mentioned CZ earlier and you mentioned Binance. Let's talk about this because this is important. Binance's market share was already big, but now it's gotten even bigger. I saw some chart posted recently and it said that Binance had like 8 or 9 times the trading volume of its nearest rival, which is Coinbase. Now, I don't know exactly the metrics they're looking at, but now it looks like CZ is the king. And and I know you've met him in Dubai recently, and I know you've hung out with him, and I saw him speak in Paris at the Blockchain Summit, and I think we're all big fans of CZ. I think we feel like he's doing it for the right reasons, but also he's getting to be maybe too powerful. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's so crazy. Yeah, first of all, I wouldn't necessarily call him a friend of mine, but we have been in contact a lot. We've been following each other on Twitter for years now, and we met a couple of times. So I respect him on that level. Like I think he's a very when you meet him, he's a very good guy. Like we have great chats about whether it's business or crypto. Like he's one of us on that level. But I can't help but think that, what if he is literally a wolf in sheep's clothing? I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but what if he and Binance, what if the final puzzle piece to become the biggest exchange and take over crypto was to just let FTX go? Maybe that was the plan from the beginning. I'm not saying it was. It's possible. If I again was this evil guy on top of the pyramid like this, I would be doing these things. It's strategy. It's a marketing strategy and propaganda stuff. But I don't want to go too speculative and conspiratorial because I have nothing to back it up with. I'm just saying that Binance controls a massive amount of the crypto industry. Now even crazier. Like the FTX thing that happened was very good for Binance. If you talk just strictly about getting market dominance, it was fantastic for Binance. Binance is completely skyrocketing right now. Everyone is talking about CZ and Binance, how they're saving the crypto industry. And I want to give a big, also shout outs to CZ because I have no proof that he's doing anything bad. So I just want to say good job, CZ. Like he's doing a very good job. And going from nothing to where Binance is today is something that is just astronomical and it's mind-blowing. And I think what's it called? You're innocent until proven guilty. So for now I just have to say that it's a very, very good job. But I think we have to also understand that having a player that big is dangerous for the community because the point of crypto is to be decentralized. And if you have Binance controlling I don't know exactly what the percentage is now, but it's getting closer and closer towards, 80% maybe soon, like that is not good because remember Mt. Gox, that was like the perfect example. Mt. Gox controlled the whole exchange industry and then they, boom, went down and that completely collapsed the whole industry for years. So for the sake of decentralization and freedom and, freedom of choice and, competition, it's very, very bad. No matter how much you love CZ, no matter much how I respect him, because I really like Binance and CZ, I have to say that. But I don't like having a player dominating the space too much. Monopolies are never good for the free markets.
Yeah, no, I agree. And even if it's not something they're doing, what if something happens to them, a hack, some problem, or what if they get regulated,
Yeah.
or what if they just start making decisions that they want to make, and you won't have much choice? Like, guess what? We're just going to decide to do 3 extra layers of KYC now from now on, and what are you going to do? Where are you going to go?
Yeah.
So what do they say? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So there's that danger. But
yeah, again, look, let's say you are the government and you are looking at the crypto industry like 5 years ago and you're saying, wow, this is the Wild West and this is an industry that's going to dominate the world. We have to go in and regulate it. We have to go in and do something about it. But there is just like dozens and dozens of exchanges and things and everything is just, where to start? Well, maybe you're thinking, okay, let's just start our own exchange and we put all the money in there and all the regulation, and then we take the guy, the puppet, let him meet every single world leader in the whole world, which CZ is doing, by the way, and then just make Binance the freshest, most beautiful, cleanest, reputable exchange in the world, so everyone uses it. And when you get everyone to use it, now you regulate Binance. Now you don't have to regulate anything else because you already regulate the monopoly. So done, easy job. And actually, like for governments to do something like that, I don't think that's hard. I think that would be very, very easy. And again, I'm just speculating because I have no proof about what I'm saying. It's simply speculating, but I'm just, playing with the idea, and I don't want to give people any crazy ideas. But I mean, what do you think? Like,
well, I've got David Icke here on Friday, so the world-renowned conspiracy theorist. So I'm gonna put you two guys together, and you guys can figure this out. David would definitely think you're right, and yeah. I'm sure George Soros is squirming in his chair right now as you're revealing to the world all of his plans. But you're right.
Wait. I would never kill myself, okay? I would never kill myself. And, just so everyone knows. Because when they come and kill me.
Me too, by the way. Just saying, me too. Yeah, but I mean, like you said, it's again, it would be beautifully crafted, this narrative. And like you said, it is a marketing funnel, if you think about any good, conspiracy. And there's a lot of things that point at it. There's a lot of things to be worried about. And again, if we remember, Carl, 4 weeks ago, CZ basically, he had $1 billion worth of FTT tokens, didn't he? About $1 billion that he basically just dumped, which caused the crash of FTX and got them market share. But he literally wrote that investment off by making a tweet saying, guess what, we're gonna liquidate this. Now, I come from Wall Street, I worked there for 15 years. If I want to liquidate an asset and get the value of the asset, you know who I tell? I don't tell my mother about that until it's liquidated. I do it nice and quiet. And so the fact that he did that, he wrote that thing off. And he's a good businessman. So anyways, let the theories begin. It's going to make a great movie one day, Carl. Maybe we're going to be in it.
Every day in crypto, I feel like we are in a movie. It's really crazy. Like things are happening that just, would make the best, episode of Billions or any of these like American TV series.
Yeah, no, the characters here are better. I mean, they're actually better if you think about it.
Actually, yeah. I
mean, I got students now that have been with me for like a year and a half, and I tell them like a year in crypto is like 10 years in any other industry. And it has been. I mean, we've seen, it's like the craziest, it's like Star Wars, 7 different movies that we've seen with all the ups and the downs and the characters and the, yeah, it's crazy, man. It'll definitely give you gray hair or mature you fast. Talking about the markets, you've been putting a bunch of really great charts up there. And a lot of people don't know this about you, Carl, is that, you're actually quite versed in technical trading and looking at a lot of technical analysis. You just posted a descending wedge pattern recently, and you're looking at what could be the bottom or close to the bottom, and you're talking about where Bitcoin could go from here. Tell me about the markets, the price of Bitcoin, which is, I think, just under 17,000 right now. I think you think it's time to buy, and correct me if I'm wrong, but did you just not say you're going to give away your entire Twitter account of 1.2 million followers if Bitcoin doesn't hit 100,000 like in the next month? Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, technically that's what I said, yeah. So basically, I made a tweet like I think over a year ago where I said, if Bitcoin doesn't hit 100K before the end of 2022, then I will delete my Twitter. And, I know how to create engagement, I knew that if I tweet this, it's going to get insane amount of likes and comments and retweets and articles and everything, and that happened. I got insane amounts of attention for that. And it is an attention grabbing economy. And sometimes I have my little things that I do. But it is of course a joke. And I think most people understand that it's a joke, but yeah, let's see. Like if someone thinks that I really should give away my Twitter, maybe I just donate it to someone who really needs it. Let's see.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. And so do you think we're at the bottom in crypto, in Bitcoin?
So the thing is that on my YouTube channel, I do technical analysis. I've been doing that now for actually 5 years. I started 1 year before I quit my grocery store to do technical analysis. I guess I didn't start with TA, but at least, yeah, let's say 4 years ago, I started with technical analysis there. And I had a lot of success, and also I did some bad trades as well. The thing is, right now, like, how can technical analysis predict if FTX would collapse? How can technical analysis predict if Tether is going to collapse? It's not possible. There is a degree of truth to the statement that, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. That's usually what I say, because usually I think the charts are way more powerful than news on certain time frames, like on the daily time frame, on the hourly, But when it comes to like these huge fundamental black swan events, like there's no TA in the world that can do anything about that. So I think we should go up from here, because I think we've seen maximum pain, maximum FUD. Like, how can it possibly be worse than this? Like, FTX collapses, the second biggest exchange, and BlockFi goes bankrupt, and this goes bankrupt. Like, I don't think it can get much worse in terms of like FUD that we have right now, like negativity, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So I don't see any reason why we have to go lower. And another point is that many people, actually most people that I talk to right now, almost everyone, I would say, are saying that Bitcoin needs to go down to 13K, 10K, 5K. And when everyone shifts bearish like that, when all the bulls lost hope, that's usually the time to buy, because that's usually the reversal point. So I think there's a pretty decent chance now that we already saw the bottom. It's possible that this 15K that we touched there, that might have been the bottom, and we might just be going up from here, unless something very huge happens. If Tether collapses, all bets are off. If something else, like I said, if Binance goes down, like I'm out for the next 2 years. I'll start making music or something for some time. I'll stop this bullshit.
Yeah, you're pretty good on the guitar as well. So check out your videos. No, it's well said. And yeah, barring those events, we saw a similar version end of last year. Everyone was saying Bitcoin's going to hit 100,000 before Christmas. And again, when the whole market goes bullish, that's when you better watch out, because it usually means it's overbought, it's overlevered, and then we saw the correction as well. So it's a good rule of thumb. I want to take a complete break from the markets and ask about a fellow Bugatti owner that is good friends with you, I think, which is Andrew Tate. And I know you guys went back and forth with him talking about guys owning Bugattis, and you put a video back at him. Tell me about your relationship with Andrew, your fellow Bugatti owner, and are you guys buddies now?
Well, actually, the first contact or communication we had was, I think, like a year ago, when he bought his Bugatti. I already had my Bugatti, and I just, I think someone even recommended me, said like, hey, look, this guy, he lives in Dubai. He just bought a Bugatti as well. So I just messaged him and said, hey man, nice Bugatti. Like, let's meet up sometime. And yeah, that's just how that happened. And that was before he became like very, very, very well known. Just a few months later, that's when he just blew up and became the most Googled person on the planet and all of these things. It's just mind blowing. Actually, he's a genius. I have to say, like, it's really genius. If the objective is to reach massive fame, he's a genius because he clearly did that. But yeah, then of course he also has the side of him where he speaks very controversially. Some would say, obviously, the word controversial is like very subjective. Like someone thinks it's controversial, someone else thinks it's just facts or whatever.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.